So we were talking about the tight ends, attending tight end U and how important that is, camaraderie obviously between the tight ends, but also getting better at your position. Why wouldn't you take an opportunity, to get better if that opportunity presented itself? And that's exactly what Colby Sorsdal has done. Colby Sorsdal has attended a mastermind summit for offensive linemen. And I found this interesting. It was an interesting read by Morgan Cannon. That, if you're a fan of offensive line play, which obviously all of us are, we love the fact that we have a really good offensive line in Detroit. It's a big reason why the Lions are able to be successful in play action pass, which Jared Goff is one of the best to do it. It's also the reason why we're successful in the running game the last couple of seasons, because we have an offensive line that can move guys. And they do really well, in the outside zone running schemes. And then when that stuff starts to click, that's when Jared Goff is able to pull that ball back and do some fun stuff with play action pass. But Colby Sorsdal wanted to take all of this to the next level. And if you're familiar with Duke Manyweather, he played his college football at Division II Humboldt State. And since his playing days ended, he dedicated himself to the art of training the best in the game. So it started with the Big Boys Club, where he and former NFL veteran Jeff Swartz broke down tape with upcoming draft prospects. Now, Manyweather hosts his annual offensive line mastermind summit in Dallas each offseason, where veterans and young players alike come together to get better at their craft. Shout out to Chris Spielman. We're all working on our craft, man, you see? So for the players like Detroit Lions second-year offensive lineman Colby Sorsdal, he had an opportunity to learn from the game's best and how that could potentially be an invaluable opportunity for him this season and what maybe we see out of Colby Sorsdal in a second-year leap. So with Sorsdal possibly making the switch back to tackle after Spot starting at guard in 2023, any extra work that he could get in ahead of training camp is likely a very wise move for him. And it was luckily for Sorsdal that the learning doesn't stop there. This is all part of this article. That once camp rolls around, he will still have the opportunity to learn from Lions offensive coach Hank Fraley, who in my opinion is probably the best offensive line coach in the league. As well as the other starters like Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow, and others. But having an opportunity to do this at this offensive line, mastermind summit, I think is going to give Colby Sorsdal a big boost up in this year's season. But anyway, Colby Sorsdal. So he took it upon himself to get better this offseason. And that was the most important part, for him this season, was to take a step forward. He's learned multiple positions across the offensive line. He's probably more comfortable at tackle. He's a big dude. I think he's 6'6", 305-ish, pretty long arms, comes out of William and Mary. William and Mary, they're known for extremely intelligent, players. It's a pretty darn good institute. I'm interested to see what kind of a step he takes forward, because we really do need that backup that can take over for Taylor Decker in a heartbeat. Someone that can be that trustworthy guy that we need in case we do suffer an injury to one of our tackles. I mean, right now, what do we have? We have, Graham Glasgow, who's going to play either guard position or center. Who else do we really have behind Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell that can come in and play, at a moment's notice? So here's your official ESPN depth chart. Behind Taylor Decker, you've got Giovanni Manu and then Connor Galvin. Behind Penei Sewell, you've got Dan Skipper. They don't have Colby Sorsdal listed as the tackle. See, I think that you're going to have, personally, I think it's going to look like this. You could put Giovanni Manu behind Taylor Decker, but I think that Colby Sorsdal would probably be the immediate backup behind Taylor or Penei. Dan Skipper could also slot in there somewhere. But I really think what would happen is if something happened to Taylor Decker, I think that Penei Sewell would slide over to left tackle, because that's Jared Goff's blind side. you're not going to put Colby, behind Jared Goff's blind side. You're going to want to have Colby in front of Jared Goff, where Jared Goff has eyes on him. At the end of the day, we know what's going to happen in the NFL. You're going to take you're going to line up the worst offensive lineman on that team with your best defensive end. And I'm going to speak to Aiden Hutchinson in that in just a moment, too, about what I kind of see happening with this defense. But I guess at the end of the day, where I'm going with this, I think that Colby is going to be our number 2 backup behind Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker at tackle. I think that Giovanni Manu is going to work his way into being the other backup, whether it's, Penei or Taylor Decker. Then you got Mahogany, who should back up either guard. And then you got Coyote Awosika, who's probably going to back up one of the guard spots. And that about wraps it up. I mean, you're going to have, 4 backups: Dan, Colby, Christian, Giovanni, Coyote. And then you're probably going to add possibly another center, maybe. They might keep Duke Clemens or Kingsley Agukan. They might. I don't know. Depends on how comfortable they are at removing Graham Glasgow from the offensive line. It's really easy to get bad at center. Like, center's a tough position, man. You got to know all the calls, and Graham knows all the calls. So anyway, where I was going with this, I think that Colby's going to make a big step up this year. I think he's going to be the bona fide number 2 backup for left tackle or right tackle. I think either side, because I think Penei switches. You know what I mean? I think Penei is going to jump over. Yeah, so to address Roger Chappett's question, he says, Will, how easy is it for these guys to switch between right guard and to left tackle or vice versa? Very difficult. Left tackle is an extremely difficult position to play. I mean, they're all difficult across the offensive line, but I think that when you have guys like Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker that are seasoned vets, I mean, I think that Taylor is always going to be that left tackle. I think that Penei can switch back and forth because he was a left tackle, switch to right tackle, just happened to be really good at both. He can bat both ways, per se, right? So for a guy like Colby Sorsdal to come in and play guard's a little bit easier than tackle. So, guard, you're surrounded by 2 guys already. It doesn't require as much to move to guard as it would tackle. Now that Colby's gotten the understanding of the guard position, he can move to tackle now that he knows that position, and he was a tackle. So it's not like he doesn't know the position, but I think it's a lot easier to move back once you've learned one of the other positions. I think that bringing a rookie in and throwing him right to left tackle when you're not a true number 1, like if you're not a first rounder, second rounder, or that gem that, somehow slips to the 6th round, like, Mahogany. If you're not somebody that gets it at a high level and is going to end up being one of the better ones in the NFL, it's really tough. So I think that they're doing it right. They're taking these guys in year 1. They're giving them all the guard work. And then they're saying, okay, it's like the Brian Branch theory. They shoved him down at nickelback. They didn't want to blow up his mind too much. Just learn this position. So just learn guard, learn all the calls, work next to Frank Ragnow, where you're going to get a ton of experience. Work next to Penei Sewell, where you're going to get a ton of knowledge. And then next year, we're going to bounce you back out to left tackle or right tackle, where we thought that you were going to be anyway. I think it's a great way to develop these offensive linemen. Get them experience all over the line. Obviously, center requires a little bit of a different animal.